If you want to hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about the American Bulldog, stay tuned. What's up, y'all? This is Danny with Pride of the Southland Kennels. Welcome to another episode of American Bulldog TV. Today, I'm going to make a video that I've wanted to make for a couple of months. Everyone that I asked and talked to about it told me it probably wasn't a good idea. A couple of months ago, the Master of All Bulldogs started saying my dogs wasn't bulldogs and things like that. I know what my dogs are. The problem with him saying that is a lot of other people are misinformed and uneducated. I don't exclude myself from that. I'm still learning this type of dog or this breed of dog, whatever that you consider it is. But what happens is one side is yapping, and that's all that everybody's hearing. So if that's all that everybody's hearing, that must be the truth, right? So I'm going to fight back and stand up for the things that I believe in and the opinions and theories that I believe, but I'm going to do it with backing it up with facts. That's something that Kwame refuses to do. He likes to flop his gums, bump his gums, and never back it up. So what we're going to do today is break this down and show the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This video is not being made to put down or bash the Johnson and Bully side of the breed. What's happening is you have some Johnson and Bully people that are claiming that my dogs and other people's dogs are mixed and things like that. So I want to put the whole truth out there. That way you can decide, make your own opinion and decide what you believe in. But after everything's said and done in this video, I don't think there's going to be any doubting going on. There can't be, in my opinion. This is facts backed up with documentation. When you're talking about the term bulldog, that's a slang term. There's been different types of bulldogs, I would say from the beginning of time. And what I mean by that is different types is right now we have the Johnson / Bully or the Scott / Standard. So I'm going to show you a timeline of different types of bulldogs from 1809 to 1901. Just to show you that how we have the Johnson / Bully and the Scott / Standard today, there was different types of dogs 150, 200 years ago, the same way that they are today. When you're talking about modern day American Bulldogs, and what I mean by modern day American Bulldogs, when these dogs took over that name. I'm not talking about any other names or any other types of dogs before that. I'm talking in the 70s when these dogs became known as the American Bulldog. You had three foundation studs, in my opinion. You had Dick the Bruiser, aka Tiny. That was a John D. Johnson dog. Then you had Mac the Masher, which was an Alan Scott dog that he got from Sale Ashley. But he didn't get that dog till Mac was about 10 to 12 years old. But going on, talking about the next dog, the third dog that I'll consider to be a foundation dog would be Sandman the Great, which was born in 1973. So I believe Mr. Scott got Mac the Masher when he was around 10 years old. So those are your three main stud dogs. Dick the Bruiser, Mac the Masher, Sandman the Great. Out of those three stud dogs, two of them were owned by John D. Johnson. Sandman the Great, Dick the Bruiser. Alan Scott is the one that owned Mac the Masher. They did breed together. Sandman the Great was a Mac the Masher offspring, meaning he was sired by Mac the Masher and owned by John D. Johnson and then bred by John D. Johnson. So what I'm trying to get at by showing you those dogs and showing you pictures of them is how those dogs looked back then. Of course, they had some differences, but they were similar. The Johnson dogs back then, out of them three dogs would be Dick the Bruiser and Sandman the Great, do not look like the Johnson dogs of today. Here's a picture of Josh from Joshua Kennels in 1999 side-by-side picture with Sandman the Great from 1975, you can see that those dogs look very similar. A lot of similar attributes about them. Now I'm going to show you this dog, two-time champion King Kong, which was a Johnson dog, sired by Sandman the Great. Had Mac the Masher on the top because Mac the Masher was Sandman the Great's sire. Dick the Bruiser on the bottom. So this dog, King Kong, has all three of those foundation dogs in him, but yet he looks a little bit different. So right there, you start to see a difference. And then we'll go on down. OSB's Blaze of Glory. This dog was an incredible Mean Machine line, which added an AKC English Bulldog, West Champs, High Hopes. Mr. Johnson said that was a throwback, and it represented the breed and looked like the dogs of the old days to him. So it was an AKC English Bulldog, but with long legs that weighed about 90 pounds. And here is another Johnson dog. This is a female that was sired by West Champs High Hopes. This is Johnson's Sugar Doll. So the reason that I am saying this is because I was told you can't add American Pit Bull Terrier or American Staffordshire Terrier and still call it an American Bulldog. The thing is, I didn't add those dogs. Don Matthews did, was open about it the same exact way that John D. Johnson was. But before I get too far in, let's take another look at this OSB's Blaze of Glory. Just take a look at this dog. This dog is labeled and registered as an American Bulldog, but clearly looks like an English Bulldog, maybe even an old English Bulldog, depending on who you're asking. My point is, when you point the finger at somebody, you got three fingers pointing back at you. That's just how it is. So the next thing I want to talk about is the colors of the dogs. I was told and criticized that because my dogs were predominantly black, that I didn't have American Bulldogs. Everyone knows that Don Matthews added some American Pit Bull Terrier dog and an Amstaff. Done that and allowed these dogs to be crossed in. However, those dogs that were sired and produced by the American Pit Bull Terrier were not immediately registered as American Bulldogs. So that's the difference between the standard side of things and the Johnson side of things. There's Johnson dogs that were sired directly off of an English Bulldog and open about it, registered as American Bulldogs. When they added Amstaff and American Pit Bull Terrier, they weren't registered right away. They was made to be 7/8 American Bulldogs before they were able to be registered. So there's a difference right there, And I'm not going to point the finger at the other side and say, hey, y'all did it this way, and the guys on our side did it this way. There's no difference. It was done. What's been done has been done. But I wanted to show you the original standard that John D. Johnson and Alan Scott came up with in 1970, July 7th, 1970. Color and size: white to all brindle colors with white to solid brindle, solid black or black mixed with brindle or white. Size: males 22 to 32 inches tall, 70 to over 100 pounds. Females 18 to 28 inches tall, 50 to over 80 pounds. That was Alan Scott and John D. Johnson's standard together in 1970. Well, in 2002, John D. Johnson had a standard that he wrote. Color: solid all shades of brindle, white, red, yellow, blue, brown, black, or gray, red and white, fawn and white, beige and white, buckskin and white, black and white, brown and white, mahogany and white, cream and white. And then if you look below that, the ARF, which is the Animal Rights Foundation standard, is just below that. So when this topic got brought up before, it was Alan Scott and Don Matthews and Daniel Taylor are idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, if that was true, add John D. Johnson to that list, because he was saying these colors were allowed. He mixed other breeds of dogs in there, I'm not saying he's dumb, but going off the theory and your thought process last time, Kwame, you have to add John D. Johnson to it. And if you add John D. Johnson to it, you've added every foundation man just about. Don Matthews, Alan Scott, and John D. Johnson, which are the three main people. Now, of course, there was, George Lee Williamson, Bailey, and some other guys. But, you're adding three of the top guys involved in the breed, calling them morons, saying they don't know what they're talking about. I just wanted to put that out there. Y'all form your own opinion. I'm not bashing the other side. I have a lot of people from the Johnson and Bully side that call me up. They've been very supportive, especially of this series. It's not to say my beliefs are right and yours are wrong. I'm just going by documentation. So I'm not going to be told and be called up and saying, hey, this guy's saying your dogs ain't bulldogs. What's he talking about? Are you lying? No, I'm not lying. He's lying because he's threatened. Simple as that. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. I'd like for as many people as possible to see this video. Thank you.